In the depths of the world's forests, imagine colossal green giants slowly lifting their roots from the ground, pacing through the woods with a gentle rustle that harks back to ancient whispers. This isn't a scene from an enthralling fantasy novel. Instead, ponder it as a speculative exploration into an altered reality, where trees, those steadfast sentinels of the earth, gain the ability to walk. Intrigued by how one simple change, mobility in trees, could potentially transform our ecosystems, societies, and fundamental philosophies about nature, we delve into an imaginative realm of moving forests.
The notion of trees wandering through our landscapes starts with a vast leap in biological engineering. How would a tree, historically anchored to one spot, evolve or be engineered to move? We could hypothesize adaptations in the root structures, turning roots into something akin to the muscular limbs of animals, capable of walking or shifting the tree from place to place. Or perhaps, the trees might develop retractable roots, minimizing disruption to the soil. In nature, there are precedents that suggest such oddities are not entirely outside the realm of possibility. For instance, the so-called walking palms of Latin America gradually reposition themselves through root growth, an inch here, an inch there. What if this slow procession was accelerated, allowing trees significant mobility? The biochemistry necessary to sustain such movement would also have to be groundbreaking. Energy requirements for locomotion could prompt a tremendous shift in how trees conduct photosynthesis, or possibly lead to symbiotic relationships with other species that could complement their newfound mobility.
Imagine forests where trees, in search of better sunlight, nutrients, or perhaps even companionship, could move. This dynamic scenario presents an entirely new ecological theater. Predation, competition, and symbiosis would now include an element of chase, vastly altering the current paradigms of ecological balance. The mobility of trees could prevent the overcrowding of plants in nutrient-rich areas, promoting a more uniform distribution of forest resources. It might also lead to the evolution of entirely new species, both plant and animal, that would thrive in this constantly rearranging environment. Furthermore, the transient nature of such forests could lead to the development of robust ecosystems not just tolerant but reliant on change. This fluidity could buffer the impacts of climate change, as forests adjust themselves in real time to optimal conditions for growth and survival.
The integration of ambulatory trees into human environments would require drastic changes in the way we design and organize space. Urban environments could transform with green belts literally shifting through the city, altering the urban landscape daily. In rural areas, property boundaries and ownership rights would be challenged. A tree that might move onto another person's land raises questions of trespass and property law. Furthermore, how would urban planning adapt to accommodate or even capitalize on the mobility of such significant elements of the natural landscape? The potential societal change goes beyond physical restructuring. It would affect everything from legal systems to cultural practices, reflecting a need to coexist more dynamically and responsibly with our environment.
Agricultural practices would face unprecedented challenges and opportunities if trees could walk. An orchard could redistribute itself to optimize light exposure and soil quality, potentially increasing yield without human intervention. This concept might spark a revolution in permaculture, where trees maneuver to support different crops, acting as windbreaks, or balancing soil nutrients through their own autonomic decisions, thus reducing the need for artificial inputs like fertilizers and pesticides. Additionally, the walking trees could facilitate new forms of crop rotation, literally moving themselves to different fields, allowing the land where they were previously sited to recover. This aligns seamlessly with sustainable practices, reducing soil depletion and the spread of crop diseases.
In cities, the ramifications of walking trees stretch the imagination. Urban forests could be designed to migrate throughout the city, providing shade during hot months and sun during colder ones. Urban planners could design green corridors that change over time, adhering to the city's evolving needs like air purification or recreational space depending on population flows and urban development. Tree-lined streets might literally line up according to daily or seasonal requirements. This flexibility in urban planning could lead to cities that are truly responsive to their residents' needs and environmental changes, representing a harmony between urban living and ecological stewardship. When trees move, do they exhibit a form of consciousness? This question would nudge us to reconsider our ethical stances towards trees. Could a walking tree possess rights akin to animals or even humans? The mobility of trees might symbolically gesture towards a kind of autonomy that demands respect and ethical consideration. Philosophically, the ability of trees to move could shift our perspective entirely on what it means to be a living being. It challenges the human-animal-plant hierarchy and might foster a greater appreciation for the complex interconnectivity of all life forms. Finally, conservation strategies would need a complete overhaul. Traditional conservation practices are built on the premise of static landscapes. Moving trees introduce a kinetic component to conservation, necessitating adaptable and dynamic strategies that can accommodate the fluid boundaries of habitats and ecosystems. Conservation in a world with mobile trees might involve more than preserving areas. It could mean actively managing the movement of trees to ensure ecological balance and biodiversity. Ethical perspectives on managing such dynamics would be crucial, especially in ensuring that human actions do not negatively impact the natural movements and evolution of the mobile forests.
Imagining trees with the capability to walk invites an unprecedented reflection on our ecosystems, societies, and philosophical doctrines. By contemplating such possibilities, we engage more deeply with our environment and recognize the vast potentials and responsibilities we hold within it.